because unfortunately, ladies, apologies for those, all of my live videos, it's not letting me post via my phone to Patreon. I can obviously post them in the Facebook group, so apologies for anyone that over the last couple of days are thinking, where are all the videos? Why are they like not there? So let's just share this. Right. Hopefully you can hear me. This isn't how I planned to do it. I had planned, as I'm leaning the phone against the tablet, to use that to do a whole video for the whole year, and then individually do little, because I couldn't cut them up, so workarounds. But we'll start with pulling 3 cards for each month, and then we will read in this video February's, and in each of the subsequent videos will be one of these, but I will show you again the whole year at the beginning of each. So first off, I want 12 from here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, actually, it's probably easier if I do them this way. 12 from Avalon. I've picked for my free packs for the free cards. I've got the Dragon Oracle, the Chinese 5 Elements, and the Wisdom of Avalon. For the next 12 months, each month, a card for each month, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Next. A card for the next 12 months, please, for the ethereal. I'm assuming these ethereal. One is the physical. One feels like it's that one, the body, the feminine, and the other, the masculine, was what they said. The body, the physical. I mean, this is the spirit. For the free bodies, it's for why free cards felt right. Is why. What do we need to know for the next 12 months? A card for each month, please. This hand, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. So then I normally place each one on top, but obviously we're going to go this way so it's easier, just as the bottom one was the first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move you back a bit. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Going. Maybe we should do, no, I'll do it month by month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now they're each in their months. I'm just going to swing it round so you can see. That's what I was going to do before. So for the year, we're going to start with these 3 for February. I'm going to sort of, for space wise, so that gets next February, pile them up so I can read them month by month. But we'll start with February. So let's put you, so that's, I have to do them in the right order. Don't disrupt this one. Almost out of that up. Right, there we got it. Okay. So for February, these are the 3 cards for Feb and for this video. I think it's easier if I just, you can see me and I'll hold them up for you. So we have the metal bird. Treat yourself like royalty. This is mirror work. This is a reflection. Now, obviously, I've gone into the energy deeply, and I will obviously, so each of these monthly videos will go with your energy report. So, metal, bird, the peacock, and treating yourself like royalty, self-care. Well, I've pulled this, we're the 6th of February when I've actually pulled this. So I'm starting, I had meant to do this just after the Chinese New Year, but we're already through that first week and much of the second week. So what's left of February from the time that I'm doing this, that makes sense because it's about that reflection on everything we're learning in this first 2 weeks with regards to our emotions, with what's coming up. So this is the time that when in the next sort of 7 days that we will have that flip where we'll go from being more social to actually being more reflective and looking within. What are we mirroring in our world? This is a reminder for. What is it that we're reflecting outwards from our subconscious, knowingly or unknowingly? We're very much aware of our emotions and trying to release and let go of the analytical for this month. But mirror work is about looking in the mirror, knowing you are enough and you are loved, you are divine, you are that royalty, light royalty, because you are the royalty. It's all regal, it's the self-sovereign. See your reflection. Also getting stars here, how you dress, how you portray yourself. This is how others see you as well as how you see yourself. The bard is the musical, it can be the fool in some some regards. And so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's a 4 energy. And that's a 7. Was sharp change with the 7 card of the bard. And 5 and 8 makes the 4 in, so slightly different here. What else is coming particularly from this card? Let's do this one first. The rings that she's wearing, her gold on either hand, take me straight back to when we were working in August with the rings. These layers from your third eye energy, but that upper dentian from heart to head that we're working through in February. But also I was talking about the different levels, these different dimensions up to dimension 15, with the chakra, or they are chakra. There are wheels, levels of energy, levels of consciousness, states of being, whatever you want to call them, realms, dimensions. It's a state of consciousness. So on a superficial level, this is treat yourself like royalty. It's make sure you make time for you, make sure you make time for yourself, that you're doing those things that's important. The Bard is about poetry, myths, history, the stories that are told and brought down, the enchantments of the storytelling. It's the way and the stories that we're telling ourselves, how the music and the rhythm and the rhyme of the stories that we are evolving can be magic, because we can transform our reality with storytelling. It's also the way that the ancients held information. It held hearing. They held the matrix this way because that was the ancient YouTube, the ancient TV. They didn't have any of that, but they had stories, they had song, they had rhythm, they had rhyme. And also when it was done in a certain rhythmic, when you're doing a spell, that's exactly what it is. It's told, what's that? I don't know, message. It's told in a certain way that coming right, it's if you take someone that practices Wicca spells or intentions, and they do with words and affirmations, there's another level to that. One, you used to say it 3 times because you were meant to embody it in the mind, body and spirit, these 3 realms, hence why I've got 3 cards, the 3 levels of the physical body that makes up us, our mind, our emotional field, and the physical as well are all linked, just as they are linked to Gaia, because our consciousness is integral to hers. But when you're creating reality, you do it in rhythm, you do it in song. Now, in my understanding, as I've opened up to more telepathic and what I call love language, as you say, or light language, frequency and sound, rhythm. This is, again, rhythm, it's frequency, it's beats, it's that it's the creative energy. So the flow of the story, the flow of the rhyme, the poem or spell, be it poem or spell, is our creation energy. The Bard is, and I actually was initiated into the Order of the Bard in at the solstice, and what we pledged to do was inspire through artistry, through music, through song, through that creativity, to inspire others to higher frequency, is the way I interpreted that. Now, next to this, the 3rd card here is the orange gold dragon from Arcturus. And the Arcturians were the ones that had the technology of sound and frequency. They showed us how to use the rhythm and the sound, which our ancient cultures have dotted about in different pieces of puzzles. That technology is still here in many cultures. It opens you to knowledge from the new golden age, because as we open now, we understand it on a level that we've never done before, carrying the energy of the future, being guided by the light. Just because something's light doesn't mean it's is there benevolent or malevolent. I get those two. But or higher in frequency doesn't necessarily mean it's for the good of all. There are different levels that are higher states of being in consciousness that aren't necessarily for the better or have common goals, but all at their core are and come from the same light. The sound is what is more pure, cannot lie to us. Frequency doesn't lie, it just creates. It's beyond ethics. It's beyond, sorry, it's stuck in my tooth. Why pain? What's that restriction from? Beyond illusion, or there's a word, it's on the tip of my tongue. When people are kind of doing things to push a certain agenda, I can't remember, the word's not coming, but the sound itself is truth. The frequency itself is truth. So as we express through sound beyond the ego, so this is why light language, there's so many of us starting to express love language or light language and light and sound frequencies, because it's an activation of information within us. So then we're remembering our future selves. And then I get into a bit more physics, because we're talking about beyond the realm time frequency of who we are and how we vibrate in the physical, and how outside of time and space there is no past or future. They are simultaneously happening. So that information in infinite possibilities. So there's a 3D sort of level here. It's talking about, for the rest of remaining of February, of how we are interpreting our own emotions and the surfaces that are coming up, the reflections of what's coming up, and we're kind of being shown a mirror to look within, to see the subconscious, see where the ego is, see where our triggers are, see these emotions that are coming up on the surface, and where and who we truly are at our core, and not just as individuals but as lots, as a collective. There will be frequency and sound inspiration. The Arcturian energy is very, very strong. I was getting very strong Lemurian energy as well, coming through the oceans last Monday for our meditation. On Monday, last Monday, we're still halfway. It was Thursday today when I'm recording this, so like, it feels like each day is like a decade in understanding and emotions. So open to the knowledge of the golden age, carry the energy for the future, and be guided by your light. And in both of these cards, right, those, I didn't show you the bar, did I? I will go into that a little bit more as well, and as what was in the book. But in both of these two, see what's present, those stars. We have these alignments that have been going on in the background that are having an effect on us. And I think, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's a half. Yeah, both have got these 7 distinctive stars, and straight away so that's 7. That's the 7 card, and that's 7 stars on there. 777. So I need to look up what the definition of 777 frequency is, but 7 is sharp change. But also the 7 sisters, the stars, that's kind of a mirroring of the galaxy above, mirrored below, is relevant for this month. That's interesting to know. Or anything else. Okay, right, let's elaborate a little bit more on the bard. What's number 7? The card represents music, storytelling, and passing of truths. So myths and legends, generation and generations through the spoken word or song in ancient Avalon. The traditions, the stories of people were gathering on levels that served a letter in living alphabet. That brings to mind when we were learning the Atlantean sounds, which each of us, when we were in Egypt, had a letter. We represented a sound, and that was part of the Atlantean alphabet, which derived closest to that now that we have is Sanskrit, which is like a dialect of that, like an accent of that. But it's not the same. It's slightly different because it's evolved and changed, and so it doesn't have the same meanings over time. However, each sound had the syllables. They were like, we have letters that make up a word, then the words make up sentences. Well, it was a bit different in the fact that the sound can have essays within a sound in information. It was more linked to telepathy and the beginnings of us from the written word moving away from telepathy than it was, and now it's going the other way. It's like the symbols that people write in light language, and these sort of sounds have ancient meanings, but I'm being told, yes, there are those meanings and they are still relevant and that history is still relevant, but this is in telling the truth. It was always meant to be an evolutionary thing, so therefore they are evolving. Those sounds don't mean the same anymore, and the new sounds that people are downloading is what's relevant, which is why I feel called to do chanting, but with light language chants, with the new information that I'm feeling coming through me, as opposed to these old ancient chants, because they were for that time. But then it's not that they're not living, and they're not necessarily dead. They still have relevance and meaning for what it is that they're used for, but it's not the same thing anymore. It's different. Anyway, so I just felt it important to interject that. So the tradition of stories of people gathering on several letters, living alphabet, were tending in vast long houses. Here the druids, the priestesses, came to read and weave. So magic is weaving, it's energetical weaving, the stories of magic and the sacred relationships of the god, the goddess, and the mystery. So all these mystery schools, all the ancient Avalon, the link that had with Egypt, that Egypt had with India, that they had with Lemuria and with Atlantis. When the bard appears, you're asked to seek answers in personal history. So maybe I'm tapping into my own here a little bit of what I'm connected to in my own cells. So I would invite you to delve into yours, is what he's saying. Go back into your own story and find the threads of the patterns in your reality and trace their links to the present. Perhaps you're being surprised by how much of your past or that of your ancestors still weaves in influences on you today. I was trying to put a post up on Patreon this morning when I shared the Chiron thing, and I had this major download. The text is there, but it won't let me share the post. But in reference to the past life reading that I'd had last week and did the video on, with the South American link via Atlantis, and then that how that was all quite a dark place that I felt I could not yet go, and it had come out as to why that there's, if you are not in perfect alignment, this is when you open yourself up, when you're dealing with these vast grids and energy work that's kind of not meant for one person, it's meant for groups. You have to be, if you do it on your own, in this perfect align and sword of truth, sort of light, as I call it, the lightsaber. Your whole body has to be perfect. Not saying you need to be perfect, but your intentions have to be held in such a state that certain things can affect our body if we're not grounded and anchored in this in the right way. And as those skills come through and they come out, she was saying to me, then you'll understand that you're able to weave this magical kind of references that the priestess and priestesses would do in ancient times, that things that would seem almost virtually impossible. When the bard appears, he asks you to retrieve the stories woven in the past. Perhaps you need to learn about that history of something or someone or something important to your inquiry. The seeds of the future are always hidden in the soil of the past. and I'm seeing it woven in all of the religions. Our future is future technology, our future selves that are kind of incarnating in the now moment, were incarnated here before and planted these seeds, so that eventually the puzzle pieces of all major religions and all major continents, and what was left on each of those continents, these plates and things, and the information on them, can be put back together at the right time. And this is the coming time. We're in that time, not just in February, but like in this whole of this year, because this was about the year. But obviously each of these will be. So the seeds of the future are always hidden in the soil of the past, meaning also is duplicity is shifting, and our learning, our growth is all of our triggers, all of our crap, all of the stuff that's happening in humanity is because there's so much light, shining a light on the stuff that we wouldn't have done before or necessarily noticed even before, that now can be changed. We can, just by seeing it, the rockets of desire, as Abraham Hicks would say, have been launched for us to shift and change that. And yes, it won't necessarily happen overnight, but it is already happening. It's time to dig a little to find the clarity you need. Don't be afraid to learn the patterns of the history. The only way to honour them is or change them is to know them. Perhaps it's time to listen to music and allow yourself to be carried into the land of memories, and listen for the messages as the strings of your soul are strumming by the hands of the divine. Remember that the bard appears to help you stay in tune with the all that is. You are music, and your story is sung in the heavens. And I'm hearing they're saying, and it's time for you to do the same. So, and I was going to read on both of these. I've read for both of these cards before, so my members certainly know these as they've been out before. So, opening to the knowledge of the golden age for February, carrying the energy of the future. Let it be a guiding light. Let my sound and my soul, as I sing my song, be your guiding light for this month in frequency. Are you sure about that? No, I'm not personally. Tracer's not, but my soul is. I embrace the fullness that is me. Say to yourself, you embrace the fullness that is you for the highest good for this month, this moment, this future, this past, in present. Feel the movement of the rhythm of your body. Honor the self, the sacred, with love, with sacred divinity and sexuality, aligning the energy of the root. Este kolok ai shirak ektorok ai nai torok ai nai torok ek ai tayo torok ai taktorok ai ananshk nai tayo kuma eashum. Hear the rhythm of the sound, hear the octaves of the sound, of the soul frequency vibrating within your being, and speak your sound. ukuma hata hai ano ni hai urukumak turukumba estai tayustumba kate e la kuturukumba e la kuturumba on the physical. Okay, ni shurumata I shurumaka Ikurumiayasa. I'm seeing a huge spinning vortex around me, shifting with colour. I feel grounded, I feel anchored. Feeling in a line with my soul and my family. I'm feeling another presence with me. Ayuturuk Arcturian. Ayushturuk Auruk Hishkna in calling. Ikukniash enturuk ma Iuraka. Irakna. They are asking my permission to speak through me. Ialakshua, my soul guides me, and literally I'm feeling like it's holding my hand, like I've got loads of beings wrapped around me and wings expanding. That vortex that I was seeing was like a directing of light coming down to stand by me. So when they say speak through me, my soul is going to speak. They're not going to come into me, or like, I think they said they would never do that, and but they will speak through my higher self. So my higher self will telepathically hold the messages from this presence, and they're reassuring me that I don't need to be afraid, and this is not benevolent, this is a loving presence that's here just in my calling, in my remembering, and was a friend, if you like, from another lifetime, or a colleague, group, collective of souls that worked together that's different from my own, if that makes sense. My Black Cat Guardian Order are very much present here in this space. I adoro meela adoro ekora kiayana halashka. I'm ready. Yurokumiada. Nei surukno ishkri urukno piak torukna. Skuma kaya to umaya. Ya yura maya kaya naya. O ya na naya olo ko maya na na yoro no naya. E ayo so toro kun mia kaya. E ayo so do shi aya na yo toro mia ya. Ayuro mia taya no mia skia. E ayo no mia idea. Uru mia ya tura yashkia uru mia ya yoshuku mia ya urushku mia henna nuru ria isturu mia la kundu mia taya ta kanuru kumia na ya tururishkna tururu mia tayuru to keturo taya tururu mia tatara rushku mia tururu ya ke aya tururu kanya ukumaya tatara ya utoro maka toro kumai ka kiara tutu konaya pia tayo toro mi ada tayo kumai tutu konai toro ma. Thank you. Yeah, no mea. Thank you. Sansuro kumai toro agora to ia kai oro mea iknoia te ashkna. I feel like there's multiple souls, family, lifetimes that are speaking through me of my own, as well as future. And I wish to thank every cell in my body, thank every cell in your body for whatever is coming through in the highest, and thank you for your blessings, your guidance, your wisdom, your light to shine. She said it doesn't mean that the dark is in the this body needs some work. I can feel where they're trying to shift my energies in certain areas. I feel it very much so. As they're working through me, they're also working on me. It's a very peculiar feeling as the sound is flowing and I'm very much present all the time. They find me funny, saying it's laugh, to have fun, and it is important to play. We mentioned about play in Ushka, and they're also aware of my need for the 3D world and time now to go. So they will, obviously in each month, they will possibly be present as we work through the months. There's nothing to worry about, just trust, just connect, spend time trusting in yourself and your body, and knowing that the shifts that are taking place in your mind, in your awareness, are all happening for the good of humanity and the good of your soul. For all of us. Okay, that's the most down-to-earth way I can express what was coming through without all of the beautiful images and the patterns that I can see all around me. I'm like, I want to go just hug them all, but they're not. They're insubstantial. I feel like they're hugging me in my mind and my body and every cell all at once. It's quite bizarre, but fun. So thank you for those that are listening. Thank you for connecting to your guidance, to your family, ancestry lines, and future self evolutionary strands. We are honoured by you. Stretch out. Adoro me eyes closing. Sorry, I feel deliriously happy. Because they higher my frequency and lowered it as to kind of meet in the middle. The gathering is over. Okay. Oh wow, just literally zap. And they're like no longer there. But they are there. If that, it's just the vision I have of them is like it's almost like I'm taken to a room that my body, that my energy is like showing me a holographic image around me in a space that's a temporary place for us to meet. She says that'll do for an explanation. Very simplified one. Yeah. Ik o mai atarok nu mumma aya no maktesrak eko mahtakia ukumba la toro me ania. She's the open expanding of space in a bubble. Okay, thank you, and thank you. Love you. I feel grateful for you. She says, I am you, you are me. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your time. Well, that went a different direction than I thought. I will leave it at that because I need to go on the school run now, and I'll come back and we'll work our way through the months, so these videos will be up for you members to refer to whenever you feel you need. The sounds should mirror, like a mirror, spark in you your own connection. By demonstrating, it's like striking a tuning fork. But that's the first time I've had that and those images, but we can talk about that in the meeting. Love and blessings, and thank you for your time. Of course, for anyone that's viewing outside the membership, all donations are welcome in gratitude. She's like, you need to level that side of things, completely different. Anyway, as an afterthought for me.